Yeah. Uh, Hello, everyone. This is Rajeeth here from SSERD, and we are joined here for our last day of our SSERD program. Joining with me will be Vineel, and today we are here to end our journey for exploring the space. So we are just gonna start right now.
Yes, Rajeeth, it's a great pleasure meeting you all people in this 10-day session, and it's been a great journey along with your students. And I hope you all students learn a lot from the SCCRD. Let us give a quick review on what we have learned all these 9 days. Uh, we have covered like life of universe, planetary motion, international space station, satellites and applications, advancements in rocket and technology, aircraft, aviation, history and development of telescopes, space agencies, and art. And today we are going to cover about life beyond Earth. What is life and what is
Yes.
the life beyond Earth? And what are the exoplanets? What are how we can find the exoplanets? And
Yes.
what are the various life forms we found till now? And is there really life on Mars? And we'll have a great journey through the entire session. And coming to our today's session, Rajeeth and I will be sharing a few slides with you so that you can get a brief detail about how exoplanets and life beyond Earth. So let's get started. Coming with for the first slide, it is a quote by Dr. Brian C. Lackey, who stated that many discoveries in astronomy were not planned. Sometimes a major new discovery was missed when nobody was looking in the right place because they believed nothing could be found there. This happened with exoplanets, which might have been detected before the 1990s if astronomers looked for solar systems very different than ours? Are we looking in the wrong places for techno-signatures? This was the statement given by the Dr. Brain C. Lang.
Well, you have just seen that what is our today's topic and what we are going to learn today. But before starting it, I want to ask you one question. What do you know about life? What is life? And what actually you know about it? So, how it was originated, how the life began on Earth in our solar system, and are there any other planets in our solar system itself where life exists? And not only about our solar system, but about the entire universe. You know, it's a vast universe, and there could be a small trace of life existing even beyond our Earth, beyond our solar system. So that's what we are going to define today, and we are going to identify and search, is there any other life existing beyond this universe or not? Moving forward, we will be first dealing with this life in our solar system. Our Earth is the only planet where we live, where life exists. And on the Earth itself, today we are streaming our last program of SSERD. But not only Earth, we'll be looking onto the other planets such as Mars and one strange planet. But let me tell you, it's not a planet, but it's a moon. Till then we reach to that point, you try to figure it out what is that moon's name. So coming back to the Earth, first we'll be looking out the life on our Earth, our Mother Earth. We know what are the reasons for life to be existed on Earth. It's because water, it's because of the atmosphere, it's because of the all the chain ecological cycles which are taking up between plants, birds, aquatic animals, and the human itself. And this all began when our solar system was originated, and that's how we are going to proceed forward describing the life on our Earth itself. You see, in different conditions, life is existed on the Earth. It could be at different heat, at extremely dryness, at extreme heat, extreme cold, everywhere life exists on Earth. But when I'm saying about life, what is this life actually? It could, is it us, human beings? Is it the animals? Is it the plants? More than that, it's the building block of life, which are called the microorganisms. There, were the thing. There were the creatures which this life actually originated, and different situations such as extreme dryness, extreme heat, extreme cold, extreme radiation, extreme toxic, and even at extreme isolated regions life exists. Which, when I'm talking about life, it means the traces of microorganisms, the objects, the living creatures which cannot be seen through the naked eyes, those exist even in such condition of earth. We are all familiar with it, but do we know that whether these extreme conditions do exist on other planets, on other bodies present in our universe? Well, we'll be looking into it very soon. Well, everything over here was originated through a tiny microorganism. When it all started under the water, as we all know, on Earth, life began through water. And from the water itself, the creatures just came out, and slowly they formed into other living animals and creatures. And that's how it all began. And slowly they were giant dinosaurs, and they got extinct from the earth. And then other living creatures took place, other species were born, and finally the human itself was evolved from an apes. This is how it all began. But before that, what how the life itself was originated on the planet Earth? It's because of the greenery. The plants used a technique called photosynthesis to generate oxygen. When our Earth was formed, there was huge amount of carbon dioxide exhaled in the atmosphere, and this carbon dioxide itself is responsible for the birth of the plants. And plants absorb this oxygen, water, and in presence of sunlight, they produce oxygen. And because of this oxygen itself, many other living organisms and even we humans are able to live. Let me show you a short video of how the life on Earth is represented beautifully. Whether it could be life in water, life on land, life on air, everywhere. So just take a look. So I've just saw how beautiful is our Earth, and we also believe that such kind of life might also exist in beyond Earth. So when coming to beyond Earth, what we know about going out of the world, going beyond our Earth? Well, before that, let me tell you why on Earth, only on Earth, in our solar system, there are many planets, but why only on Earth life exists? It's because of the concept called Goldilocks zone, where it is a region where it is a right appropriate distance from a parent star, which balances the different conditions such as the weather, the change in the temperature. Sometimes it could be hot, cool, or the different weather conditions and the different radiation level which is emitted from the sun. Because of those things, because of this Goldilocks zone, which is also called as the habitable zone, our Earth is currently situated at that region, and because of that itself, the life is existed on our Earth. If the planet is very near to the star, it might be too hot. For example, you can take Venus or the Mercury. And if at all the planet is away from the habitable zone, it will be really cool, such as the Jupiter's and Saturn, all the gas giants and the ice giants. They are very cool. But our Earth is situated at exactly the right place, and because of that region, the life is able to sustain on the planet Earth. But when we talk about Earth, it could be not only just going beyond the atmosphere, it could be exploring the entire universe. So, before exploring the entire universe itself, why can't we just look what's happening just beyond the atmosphere? You have known that many astronomers have just jumped out of this universe and explored other planet called our moon. But we have also seen these astronomers also stay in space at some place in the space itself. What is that? Well, it is known as the ISS, the International Space Station, where all the astronauts go beyond our Earth and live over there. It could be they could be living around over for 1 year, or it could be extended more. But what they do on this space station, and what does the space station actually means? You can say it's just a place for people to live. And in this space station, they conduct different experiments. They will check whether the technology which they are building to sustain a human in space is appropriate or not. You can see this guy is trying to manipulate, he's trying to experiment something to get an appropriate results. And I will also show you one image which is taken from our International Space Station, the view of Earth, how it looks. There are windows in our vehicles, like for car, bus, there are windows. And similarly, ISS also do have window. And through that window, we could see our Earth very beautifully. The Earth looks very beautiful. So let me just show you the image. So over here, you can see there is an image of our International Space Station, where you can just see how our Earth might look when we just look beyond the International Space Station. This is the image. And not only humans have reached to outer space, they have also stepped onto the moon. And that's what the Apollo 11 actually represents. It was taken up in 1969. And who was the first person to step on the moon? It was the Neil Armstrong. And they, when we just step on the moon, we were the aliens. We became the aliens. And then the footprints were left on the soil of moon. As there is no atmosphere on moon, there will be no change in the soil. The soil remains the same. The footprints are still visible on the moon itself. Now, just let me show you, as we have an International Space Station on revolving around the Earth, similarly, in the future soon, we're going to have a space station which will going to be revolve around the moon. So, not only life exists on the moon, but we do have on Mars either. Just check out the video for the moon space station. So you have just saw the construction of a space station which is going to be orbiting the moon. Now, do life exist beyond our Earth? Yes. Currently, people are investigating, the scientists are investigating on Mars, which is our nearby planet. And we also believe that life might exist over there. So just let me take up this.
Is there is there really life on Mars? Yes, there is life on Mars because the scientists are really interested more on colonizing Mars. Like Elon Musk and even the NASA people are trying to colonize Mars. But why Mars? Is there really life on it? Let us check with this small video.
So you have just watched a short video on Mars where you can see the life is getting investigated. Different machines such as the rovers, the landers, and even the satellites were sent on Mars to investigate whether the life exists on Mars or not. But when we talk about the life hunting, is only the Mars in our solar system where life exists? No, we have another planet where I mentioned just before the session, like it's not a planet, but it's a moon. And what was it? That's the Saturn's moon, the Titan, where its thick nitrogen atmosphere fascinated most of the scientists to investigate whether do life also exists on Titan or not. And many experiments are being conducted, are on their way towards the Titan to just find the traces of life. Now you might be wondering, why a moon, why not the Saturn itself? So Saturn is a gas giant. It doesn't have a solid core, and that's why we cannot estimate that do life actually exists on Saturn or not. But the Titan is quite similar to Earth, and its atmosphere, which is the nitrogen thick atmosphere, it's what fascinating. It's what attracting to just give a try and find out the life itself existing on the Titan, the Saturn's moon Titan or not. Well, now we have just looked the life in our solar system. So, is life elsewhere possible beyond our solar systems also? Yes, that's where comes the concepts of exoplanets. Just stay tuned. You will be soon introduced with the concepts of exoplanets also.
So, we are talking about exoplanets. So, we are going to talk about exoplanets. Is there really life beyond our solar system? Is there really life exoplanets? And do we really have exoplanets in our solar system or above our solar system? Uh, is there really life beyond our universe? Let's get to know about it. So we discovered 51 Pegasi b, which was discovered in 1995, October 6th. This was the year we have discovered 51 Pegasi b. This giant planet is about halfway size of Jupiter and orbits its star around about 4 days. 51 Peg helped launch a whole new field of exploration. Our Earth goes like 365 days to complete one revolution around Sun, but 51 Pegasi b takes only like 4 days to revolve around the Sun. It's the distance from Pegasi b to Earth is around 50 light years. Did you know 51 Pegasi b was the first planet to have its reflected visible light spectrum detected? Yeah. Who are the people who discovered 51 Pegasi b? It is discovered by Michael Mayer and Dider College using the LOD spectrograph at Observatory di Horti Province and confirmed by Geoff Mercy and Paul Butler using the Hamelin spectrograph at the Lick Observatory. So let's compare our 51 Pegasi b with Jupiter. 51 Pegasi b is 47% less massive but 50% larger than Jupiter. Do you believe it? Star comparison. So 51 Pegasi is the star of 51 Pegasi b, and it is 11% more massive and 23% larger than our Sun. Extreme conditions. Hot Jupiters were not thought to be possible 20 years ago. This discovery challenged the existing theories of planet formation. Astronomers now believe that large planets may form far from their stars and migrate closer to their stars over millions of years. So, how we find these exoplanets? There are several ways to find exoplanets, which will be taught to you in a second.
So you have just saw that exoplanets are the thing, are the objects where life might exist, and that's what the astronomers and the scientists are trying to identify the exoplanet itself. Now, how do we find those exoplanets? So we have different techniques such as the radial velocity, the transit, the direct imaging, micro gravitational micro lensing, and astrometry. Sorry. You might be wondering what are these strange words? What do they represent? Well, we'll be representing you one by one about all these in a short videos. So hope you enjoy it. So in the first, when we come to the radial velocity, it's nothing but we're calculating the distance by which the planet is orbiting the star. So when this star gets close towards the observatory, the waves get compressed, and similarly, when it moves away from the observatory, the waves get stretched. We have long waves. Now you might be wondering what are these waves? These are nothing but the radiation levels, the sound signals, what we say, sound signals emitted through the planet. Now you might be wondering how this sound signals could be emitted. Well, this is called an electromagnetic radiation, and because of which this distance and the motion of that planet is calculated around its star. Now coming to the next video, which represents the transit method, which represents the transit. Now you might be wondering what is happening in the transit. In the transit, we try to determine the size of that particular planet. When the planet just crosses away the star, as you can see, the luminosity or else the light which we get from the parent star is reduced, and at the period of that time, the period of the time where we get a reduced light, a little amount of light, through that we could determine the size and the speed of the planet with what speed it is getting transmitted, or it's getting moved away from the star itself. Now, we will just look up to the next slide, which is called the direct imaging. Over here, we are trying to look to a particular star directly and to identify whether any planet exists or not, which is orbiting that particular parent star. And through this method, we can, this is the starting of hunting an exoplanet, where to get a rough idea about whether the planet exists over there or not, we use this method. Now, moving forward, we have the gravitational micro lensing, in which the light ray coming from various different stars, each is incidented, or you can say it's diverted towards one particular point, and at that point itself we identify how far that planet is, or else how far that star is, and what could be the time period or the age of that star, etc. And the last, we have the astrometry, where through the astrometrical observations, we determine the movement of the star and the planet among themselves. Like these stars are compared with other stars in the particular region, and we will track the motion of that particular star and determine like how that star is moving, and the movement and the motion of that star might affect the life existing on the exoplanet. So you have just seen that how we'll be able to detect the exoplanet, but we still what are the observatories which are helpful in detecting these exoplanets? Well, there could be a ground-based telescopes. The giant, they have to be very big enough. As you can see in the image, We have ELT, the extremely large telescope. It is 39.3 meters wide, and the other one is Subaru telescope. Because of these giant telescopes, we will be able to hunt the exoplanets, and not only the ground-based telescopes. We do have few space-based telescopes which can make more precise observations and more precise uh, indications of whether that planet do exist at that particular star or not. For an example, we have the TESS space probe. We have a TESS space probe which is evolving around, and we have the James Webb Space Telescope, which is gonna be coming up soon, and it will be launched by next year. And we have the F first, and the also the sunshade. Sunshade is something, a new concept where the light from a coming star is blocked, and the light of a planet itself is captured to estimate that whether the life exists on the planet or not. So these are all the experiments and the space probes which are responsible to find the life on the Earth. But not only this, we do have some technique, the nearest star called the Proxima Centauri. What would be the technique we can reach to the nearest star? Well, we could be using any of these techniques or any of this methodology to just reach out that star and also examine lively. On Earth, we can lively examine whether the life is existing or not. We can go at particular place and do some experiment. But whereas on the other planets, we can't go over there directly. So if at all we in the future we manage to go to the nearest star, the Proxima Centauri, uh, it could be taking around hundreds of years to reach them. And the signal which is emitted from that planet, it will take around 40 years to reach the Earth. So you can imagine how far are these stars distributed in this wide space. Now, not only talking about the distance and the duration, we are we will be also looking about like how we find the life on those planets. We know how we find the exoplanets, but how do we find it? Find the life itself? Yeah, it's because of the telescope, and it will be explained soon.
Telescopes. You already learned in the previous session well, a lot about telescopes, right? So I will not be focusing more on the telescopes. So you all already know how much big a telescope could be compared to a man situated here, right? So the telescope might be like 300 meters, 400 meters also in wide, so that we can see the observations through the night sky. Some of the observatories are situated at the altitude of more than 4,000 meters above the sea level, and some are situated in the night sky in the space to observe things so far from even like distant galaxies. This is the Hubble telescope, as you all know, which took major photos, major images it has given to astronomers. James Webb Telescope will be launched by 2024, which will be the biggest space-based telescope which is being launched by the humankind ever. Now, coming to the spectroscopy. What is spectroscopy? Spectroscopy is the study of interaction between matter and electromagnetic radiation as a friction of the wavelength or frequency of radiation. Historically, spect- spectroscopy originated as the study of the wavelength degenerated from the absorption of the gas plus matter of visible light dispersed by pressure. So this will be like the spectroscopy method, which will be used for detecting planets by their color, by their mixture, by their composition, by the light they emit. We will know what is hydrogen, what is sodium, like, and what is magnesium, so that we can get a clarity of what actually we are getting and what we are using. This is what spectroscopy meant to be. So find how to find light. We can find life seeking light. This is a small illustration where we can find the planets. through the spectrograph measured here, where we can know the water level, ozone level, methane level, carbon dioxide, and even water. So, based on the starlight, we can reflected back to the Earth or back to our telescope. We can find whether life is possible there or not. We can also determine the exoplanets, whether they are habitable or not, by seeing the colors itself. Uh, Here you can see a imaginary exoplanet where you can also see pink color and blue color and green color also. So each color determines red are the vegetation and some other more things as well. But seeing this graph, you can like get to know what is what and how you can actually get the data of the exoplanets which are very distant in distance. So how we can know is there really life beyond Earth? Is there really intelligent life? We can know by transmitting radio signals so that we can know about the life. Is there really life beyond Earth? We can there might be life who can like harness the energy of the star and they can use communication signals like radio waves and etc. But can we do it? We at present we cannot, but we have like many plans to harness our own sun itself. So the TESS telescope, which was like launched a year before, has more than 47 exoplanets which are potentially habitable were discovered. Known exoplanets more than 3,800 were discovered by the TESS telescope. Now, about the Dyson sphere, we'll learn in a few minutes, few seconds.
So you have just saw that how we could find the life on the other exoplanets also by just checking up the radiations where we can collect the images and also the signals which are emitted in the deep space. But if at all we found that one some particular planet has life on it and people live there, I mean the so-called aliens, if they do live there, then what could be their ideology of finding us? What could be their method, or we can say what could be their technology which they might be using? So here comes something called the Dyson sphere. It is nothing but we are harvesting the energy or the light which is emitted by the parent star, and we are investing that energy into our pranal technology, making the technological advancements, and through this technology itself we can find out life, and not only just find it out, we can try to communicate with them, we can talk to them, talking to the people who are beyond Earth, who are living in some other planets. And because of this technology called the Dyson sphere, this kind of advancement could be made more precisely. And we hope that in future, someday, if even the people on Earth, like we, could also inculcate this technology such that we can also get an strength, or we can construct those instruments which could be used to communicate with the people. But here comes something called the communication part. We will How we would actually communicate. Well, before just talking about communicate, what is the main source of our communication? We have a language, and we can speak among different people, and we can understand what he or she is trying to say. But the aliens, what we call the life on another planet, the aliens, how do they talk? What is their way of communicating? And we have even seen that on Earth, humans not only speak with humans, but also even animals can understand that language. How it is all possible? Well, we will be just seeing now.
So, Lawrence Doyle of Quincy College and SETI Institute oversees studies of the communication systems of dolphins and whales could help scientists decode patterns in alien language. Do you really believe it? Yes, but the language spoken by the dolphins and whales are really understandable by aliens itself. So that's the reason they are studying on how actually the dolphins speak with us, so that we can decode the language of the aliens if they are really communicating with us. So coming to the Voyager, I think most of you know about the Voyager, which is the man-made artificial satellite which is flown through the space and covered a lot of distance and is nearing our end of our solar system. Voyager Voyager 2 and Voyager 1 both were like huge successful missions by which were done by the mankind. Voyager 2 was first launched and Voyager 1 was launched the second. So, what was the message which was embedded in the golden record of the Voyager spacecraft? This is a present from a small distant world, a token of our sounds, our signs, our images, our music, our thoughts, and our feelings. We are attempting to survive our time so we may live it to your viewers. President Jimmy Carter's have recorded this message on the golden record. So this is the pictorial representation of Voyager 2. So this is the golden record which was attached to the satellite on the backside of it. So what it actually denotes, this circular image denotes that in illustration, binary arithmetic surrounding the record explains that it should be played at 3.6 seconds per rotation. So why we took actually golden records in 1970s, as we have only golden records at that time, so we launched golden record along with our satellite, and we have made it travel through our solar system. So anybody, if there are aliens, might take capture of our satellite, might know our sounds, our habitability, our messages to them. So what is it? And this line here, it is a side view of record that stylus has binary arithmetic below it to show that the record has about an hour playtime. And this one is most interesting one. This pulsar map shows the location of our sun and direction of 14 of its pulsars. Binary code along each pulsar gives the frequency. Picture lines 1, 2, this one. This triangular shape, the picture lines 1, 2, and 3 show that they are drawn vertically with a staggered in progress. Now, we will see a short video about the Voyager 1 and Voyager 2 journey.
It's traveling so slowly, even though it's the fastest thing we've ever launched, that it will take it 80,000 years to get to the nearest star. It will be the oldest artifact of mankind.
So you have just saw the journey of Voyagers, and actually these were the artificial satellites launched by the NASA in the year of 1977, and this was the time where we were trying our first attempt towards communicating the other living organisms in the space, which means we were trying to the only motto of this spacecraft to be launched was if any other life might exist in in this deep space, they could have get the disc, the golden disc, which was fixed to the Voyager, and on this disc there was a message by the American president Jimmy, and then this disc also contained few images of Earth. Not only the images but the music, pictures, and everything, even our position in our solar system. So this was something which fascinated many people to discover the life beyond our own solar system, and that's how the entire journey started, and this hunt is still going on, and you have the opportunity in the future to be a part of such amazing discoveries and also try to find out the life which could exist not only on Earth but in our solar system such as Mars and Titan, and also beyond our solar system, which these voyages are trying to find out. So, few of these topics, few of the projects which are currently undergoing in this field would be represented as the breakthrough listing, the message, star shot, and the watch and Accurus. These are the few current projects which are going on in this field, and you can also be a part of such astonishing discoveries and also try to find that are we alone in this universe or not.
Yes. So we also have a activity. So make a case study on Mars or Titan or Europa. The whole session of the life beyond Earth was like really interesting. So I hope you also enjoyed it. But due to the lack of time, we couldn't cover everything. But I think we will also like go on the Google and go through these projects, breakthrough reason, message, star shot, and SLADs. You can also
And before ending this session, we have a small video for you. I hope you will enjoy this. This video has everything which I have learned in these 9 days, each and every topic about our solar system, about the origin of our solar system, about the stars, Milky Way, galaxy, universe, the Big Bang, satellites, rockets, and the
yeah,
technology itself.
yeah.
Are you excited? So just let
I'm
this
excited.
video begin.
Yeah. Yes.
So, wasn't it so amazing? Just observing everything from the origin to the present in just one click. That's how our entire universe is. And the life, in the search of a life, this is getting beyond and broader day by day. Many discoveries are being made. Life on Moon, life on Mars, life not only in our solar system but also in this entire universe is being taken up, and this discovery is still on. So I hope today we have left you with the knowledge and with the question that are we alone? And you have the chance to be a part of this question and try to
Yeah.
identify the answer. And now we'll begin our Q&A session. Well, we have few questions. So we have a first
Yes, sir.
question, like, does life exist on our moon? Well, actually, the answer is no. Life doesn't exist on moon, but we do have found out few traces of water on moon, as the moon doesn't have the atmosphere. So life sustaining on moon is quite not possible because we need atmosphere. And that water which was identified on moon was observed in the polar regions on the north and the south pole. And these two regions are something where the sunlight doesn't reach that region. So that's why we have got some traces, but life actually doesn't exist. We do have stepped on moon, but we have carried our own life supporting equipment such as oxygen cylinders and other pressure and temperature measurement devices to get a sustainable sustainability on the surface of the moon. So we have another question. What about life on Mars? Well, life on Mars is still a mystery, and many experiments are being conducted to find out whether Mars or life over Mars life existed on Mars or not. But why? Why are we trying to hunt it? Why are we trying to investigate it? That's because we have found few regions where scientists estimate that water might exist on Mars, and that
Yes.
is what it fascinated many astronomers, many scientists to examine and to check whether life existed at one particular time on Mars or not. And talking about aliens, yeah, this is something very exciting. Aliens. Well, whom we call aliens? When we stepped on to the moon, when we stepped on to the moon, we became alien to the moon. And similarly, the people or the living creatures which come from other planets, the planets which are beyond our solar system, or they could even life might also sustain in our solar system also, but we don't know. Maybe they might know it. They might know that here on Earth, yeah, there are people who are living and they are trying to find out whether we do also live or not. And those are the aliens. We call them the aliens. And you might be also heard about the Area 51, right, in America, where many fan-based theories has come out stating that this is the region where aliens live. This is where the aliens try to communicate and all. Well, Area 51 is nothing. The hard truth is, Area 51 is a military base of the United States of America. It's not any region. It's not any area where aliens come and visit. It's not like that. It's a military base where America tries to build up its different spacecraft, different military weapons, and these are all fan-based theories that aliens visit Area 51. No, it's not like that at all. So we will take up one last question, which we have from the juniors, is how do we know whether the life do exist beyond our solar system or not? Well, that is the only concept we were trying to explain. We still don't know whether life exists beyond our solar system or not. And the Voyagers are the two space probes which are actually in the hunt, are in the race of finding it. And if at all in future we found any uh, living creature living on any other planet, they might reach us, they might communicate us. And that's how it would be our discovery of life beyond our Earth and beyond our solar system itself. Uh, as this hunt is still going on, you can also be a part of this amazing discoveries. You can also be the part of this journey of finding the life. So,
Yes, Rajeeth.
with this, we end our today's session, and I hope, Vinil, you have got to learn more and more about how we can trace out the life, not only on Earth, but also on
Yeah.
other planets, right? Wasn't
So
that interesting?
yeah, it was so interesting. And uh, from the past 9 days, I hope you are enjoying our whole SSERD outreach program, and I hope you really enjoyed the whole program. And we also are looking back for your feedbacks, and as well as your questions, so that we can speak out and we can also reach out to you, so that we all you also be the pioneers of the space industry, and you also be our future astronauts, and one of you can also be Elon Musk, right, Rajit?
Yes, and once again, we thank you all for being a part of such a wonderful journey of exploring the space. And this is not the end. We do have many upcoming events in the future. So just stay connected and be a regular participant and try to learn more and more. And before ending up the session, we have a closing ceremony. And please do attend the closing ceremony. Your feedbacks are valuable to us. We have some interesting guest for you who will be speaking up about the program, about the feedback by many different parents, many different participants. So just be there with us at 6 o'clock on YouTube, and we will greet you all a very thank you for being a part of such an amazing, amazing journey. So we hope you all see you some other day, some other time. Till then, stay safe, keep learning, and all the best. Bye bye.
Thank you.